Good evening and welcome to the special presentations portion of our City Council meeting. Today is November 5th, 2019, and our first presentation is a business spotlight for Black Bear Diner in District 1. Located at 24949 Sunnymead Boulevard, Black Bear Diner is a community-oriented family dining establishment that offers great food and a bear-themed cabin-like atmosphere. At Black Bear Diner, patrons can expect fresh, homemade cooking all day. Some signature items include the sweet cream pancakes and waffles, corned beef hash, in-house handmade sausage patties, and comfort classics like homemade meatloaf and slow roasted pot roast dinners. Some must-haves are the country fried steak, taco salad, and biscuits and gravy. In addition to the delicious homemade food, all of the decor and bear statues are custom and specifically made for Moreno Valley's Black Bear Diner. Black Bear Diner offers comfort food with huge portions at reasonable prices. What more could you ask for? Grab some friends, call up the family, or stop in alone for some food. Their entire menu is served all day. Today we recognize Black Bear Diner with this business spotlight video. Please roll the video.
Perhaps the region's most magnificent creature is the Ursus americanus, the American black bear. And as our friends go in search of their next meal, they head to a favored feeding spot we've affectionately dubbed the Black Bear Diner. It's here that they can always find a large and hearty selection of delicious foods to fill their tummies. Truly a remarkable place for truly remarkable creatures. The Black Bear Diner feels like home.
Great. And representing the business is Jana Patterson, if you can join me at the mic. Just want to say thank you so much for choosing Moreno Valley as a location to have good food, and I can attest because I've been there and I've eaten just about everything on the menu, and it's good. It's very delicious. The portions are really big, so you can come, have a meal, and take half of it home if you want. So on behalf of the City Council, we welcome you to the city. Here's a certificate, and here's a USB with the video that you could put on your social media and website forever. Okay, would you like to say some words?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having us here. And we truly are feeling the special spot we have in that corner there. And people, I mean, the guests are super nice. The staff, we've retained 95% of the opening crew. And we're coming to 1 year anniversary on December 19th. And we'll be sure to make something special out of it. But we're really lucky to be here. And thank you for your support.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. I'm going to take some pictures. Okay?
Oh, yes, sure.
Let's give Black Bear Diner another round of applause. And the second presentation is an additional business spotlight. Raw Regimen, Councilmember Cabrera will speak and present a certificate of recognition to our staff. To Neoni Owens.
Good evening. For our second presentation here tonight, we do want to recognize a business over on the south side of town in my district, District 4, located at 16170 Paris Boulevard. Raw Regimen provides customers a welcoming and relaxing environment where the primary focus is whole body wellness. The owner, Naomi Owens, studied Ayurveda. I have to really get this down. I have a couple times to practice here. To provide her customers with customized holistic wellness plans. Ayurveda, I'm gonna get it, I promise. Which means knowledge of life is a natural and holistic approach to treating each person in accordance to their own needs by focusing on a healthy and balanced lifestyle. After an initial consultation, customers will receive personalized assistance and guidance to address common issues such as stress, reduce illness, ensuring positive movements, anxiety, sleep issues, headaches, the common cold, and pain. Raw Regimen also offers herbs, teas, massages, and essential oils. Ayurveda, in conjunction with Western medicine, has many proven health benefits to help people achieve optimal wellness. Today, we recognize Raw Regimen with this business spotlight video.
Maintaining a state of optimal wellness is key to living a higher quality life. At Raw Regimen, we offer natural and holistic treatments to help you live a healthy life. We offer consultations to find which of our medicinal herbs can treat any issues you have, anything from acne to weight loss. Patients can also receive Ayurvedic massage and oil treatments to help relieve pain, stress, and other ailments. Raw Regimen, helping maintain your mind, body, and spirit.
And representing the business tonight is owner Naomi Owens. If you could please join me at the mic, and we can give her a round of applause. And it's my pleasure on behalf of the City Council and the city staff to present you with this certificate on behalf of the city for your business. And I would also like to hand over the flash drive so you can upload the video to all of your networks and YouTube and all that good stuff. And would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, I'll say it. Good evening. First, let me say thank you. Thank you, Councilman Cabrera. Thank you all for having us. We're honored. This is a family-owned business. Me, my husband, and my children run the practice. It's been a long road. We've been working on it for about 6 years now. And it's truly an honor to be here, to be recognized. We're happy to be in Moreno Valley. I live in Moreno Valley. I own a home here. My kids go to school here. So I absolutely am thankful that my business can be in this community. Ayurveda is on the rise. A lot of people, it's Ayurveda. A lot of people are not familiar with Ayurveda, but it is 5,000 years old. It actually predates allopathic medicine. It's a very powerful healing science. And I'm thankful that I can bring it here. Like I said, they have it in Beverly Hills and Westwood and all these other communities, but I truly wanted to be able to bring it to our community. So thank you again for recognizing us. We truly appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's give Raw Regimen another round of applause. And the final presentation for this evening is a proclamation recognizing National Animal Shelter and Rescue Appreciation Week. Councilmember Thornton will speak and present the proclamation to Animal Services Division Manager Steve Fries.
Tonight, we would like to take a few moments to recognize the contributions that the hardworking staff and volunteers at the Moreno Valley Animal Shelter to the overall well-being of the city. The City of Moreno Valley joins the Humane Society to celebrate National Animal Shelter and Rescue Appreciation Week. Animal Services Division staff provide our community with safe and wholesome operations to achieve the well-being of our citizens and animals. They offer a wide range of services in an effort to find forever homes for pets. In recognition of National Animal Shelter and Rescue Appreciation Week, the Animal Shelter will host 2 events this week. On November 5th, 6th, and 7th, join them for the pet adoption event at discounted rates. This Saturday, November 9th, they will host a free rabies vaccination and free microchips for residents, pets attending the clinic between 8:30 to 11:30 a.m., sponsored by the Petco Foundation. In honor of the animal shelters and the dedicated people who work to protect animals, the mayor and city council is honored to present this proclamation. If the staff could just come ahead and come up here and join me for this.
And Mo.
And Mo. Hey. Mo Val. Whereas the Moreno Valley Animal Shelter works closely with its animal rescue group partners and networkers to provide important services each and every day, and whereas the collective commitment shown by the Moreno Valley Animal Shelter staff, rescue group partners, and networkers has made tremendous strides in achieving the City Council's goal to significantly increase placement of homeless pets. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Moreno Valley City Council does hereby proclaim November 3rd through 10th, 2019 as National Animal Shelter and Rescue Appreciation Week, and calls upon all citizens to recommit to the animals in our community with responsible pet ownership in support of efforts to help protect homeless animals throughout our city. Here tonight to accept this proclamation is Animal Services Division Manager Steve Fries. Steve, would you like to say a few words?
I would, we're still working with Mo, our dog from the shelter, actually a dog that came from the streets of Moreno Valley in January. And if I could get him to, actually Daryl's working on trying to get him to talk. And if that could happen, I'd have him here at the mic, but that's not going to happen tonight. But he has learned a few tricks. But I think one of the reasons why we bring Mo to all these events is that it's representative of the type of animals that come into our facility every day, and that's why it's important for folks in the community, if they're looking to adopt a pet, please come and see the animals that are available at our animal shelter. There are a lot of great pets there every day. This week we're promoting adoptions at discounted rates, $60 for a dog, $15 for a cat. It's all inclusive and includes the spay neuter, the microchipping, and the vaccination, so it's a great deal. We still have staff working right now, so that's why all of our staff isn't here. But we do have a representation of our shelter staff as well as our field staff here tonight. And of course on Saturday, that'll be a big event because it's the first time we've actually offered to the community free rabies vaccinations for dogs and cats, and also free microchips, which is a bargain. And we expect a big turnout between 8:30 and 11:30 on Saturday. It's probably going to be one of our biggest events we've ever had. And it has a lot to do with our partnership with the Petco Foundation. They've been real good partners with the city and with Animal Services, and we want to say thank you to them for the opportunity to present this to the residents in the community. Also, I'd like to thank the Mayor Pro Tem, and all the council members for all their ongoing support. We greatly appreciate it, as well as the support we get from City Manager and City Manager's office, and all the executive managers that are here this evening. So. The folks that are out there in the community, again, we would love to have you come by, stop by our shelter. We're open 5 days a week. We're open on Saturdays. Come on down, adopt a pet. We're there to help you. Thank you.
Let's give our staff at the Animal Services another round of applause. And I can attest that they do a fabulous job and that they wouldn't be where they are if they didn't love our animals. And they took very good care of mine, and they'll take care of yours. So thank you so much. And that concludes our special presentations for tonight. The City Council meeting will convene in about 10 minutes.
Good evening and welcome to the joint meeting of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley Community Services District, City as Successor Agency for the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Moreno Valley Housing Authority, Moreno Valley Public Financing Authority, and the Board of Library Trustees. The City Council receives a separate stipend for CSD meetings. I now call this regular City Council meeting to order on November 5th, 2019 at 6 p.m. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Frank Wright. Please remain standing for the invocation which will be given by Father Joseph from St. Christopher Church.
Let us all stand, pay respect to our flag in honor of the 25 Marines that were shot down in a helicopter over Afghanistan in remembrance of their sacrificial life by reciting and saying, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Dear wise and loving Father, first let me say thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for your many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself. For the measures of health we need to fulfill our callings, for sustenance and for friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thank you as well for the freedom to embrace you. Thank you for loving us, even so, from your boundless and gracious nature. God of justice and mercy, thank you for the gift of life and the opportunity to serve the people of our city. Help us to act with character and conviction. Help us to listen with understanding and goodwill. Help us to speak with charity and restraint. Give us a spirit of service. Remind us that we are stewards of your authority. Guide us to be the leaders your people need. Help us see the humanity and dignity of those who disagree with us, and to treat all persons, no matter how weak or poor, with the reverence your creation deserves. And finally, Father, renew us with the strength of your presence and the joy of helping to bind a community worthy of the human person. We ask this as your sons and daughters, confident in your goodness and love. Amen.
Okay. Thank you, Father Joseph from St. Christopher's Church, for that invocation. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Thornton.
Present.
Councilmember Marquez.
Here.
Councilmember Cabrera.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca.
Here.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Here. Staff introductions, please.
Pat Jaques Nares, City Clerk.
Regina Flores, Senior Deputy City Clerk.
Marshall Ironman, Chief Financial Officer, City Treasurer.
Martin Kazanowicz, City Attorney.
Tom DeSantis, City Manager.
Alan Brock, Assistant City Manager.
Mike Lee, Economic Development Director.
Patty Nevins, Acting Community Development Director.
Dave Lilliver, Acting Commander.
Kathleen Sanchez, Human Resources Director.
Patty Solano, Parks and Community Services Director.
Michael Wolf, Director of Public Works, City Engineer.
Okay. Thank you to everyone that's here today. Thank you to the staff as well. Just a friendly reminder, we do have Spanish translation services in the back if anyone is interested in this feature. At this time, we will consider item number F4, which is a public hearing regarding proposed sale of housing authority per resolution HA 2019-03. So I'm going to have a report of economic development, and this is about the property on Day and Alessandro. Mike Lee?
Mayor Pro Tem Member City Council, the item before you for your consideration tonight is to conduct a public hearing to determine if there's any protest on the sale of approximately 8.19 acre housing authority asset. The property is actually located on the northeast corner of Alessandro and Day. It's about 12 different parcels owned by the housing authority. In the event that there is a protest, a supermajority vote will be required to authorize the sale. This report recommends the sale of the parcels owned by the housing authority, in which the proceeds will be used to advance low-income housing in the city. This concludes staff's presentation. Here to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll go straight to council questions of staff. We have a question from Councilmember Marquez.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Mike, when we sell this property, how does it determine the value of the property?
This action is actually just to open the public hearing. There is another item on the C4 on the agenda which talks about the sale.
Okay, I'll take it. Thank you. That's all.
All right, I'm going to open the hearing. Any public testimony, Madam Clerk?
None.
Okay, close the hearing. I'll entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendation number 1. A motion by Councilmember Marquez, second by Councilmember Cabrera. Please vote. Okay, and the motion passes. Okay, before we hear public comments on this evening, I do ask and encourage everyone to keep your comments respectful towards each other. Finally, I ask the speakers bear in mind that comments are limited to 3 minutes for each speaker and that you refrain from duplicating comments already made by others, other than to note that you agree with the comment. Public comments on matters on the agenda will be taken up as each item is called for business between staff's report and City Council deliberation. Those wishing to speak should complete and submit a blue speaker slip to the bailiff, and again, there's a 3-minute time limit per person depending on how many folks we have speaking here tonight. All remarks and questions shall be addressed to the presiding officer, which is myself, or to the City Council. The City Clerk will call 3 names at a time. Please move to the front of the room when you hear your name called. In order to preserve the meeting decorum, council and staff will not respond during public comments. Any council comments or questions to staff we will make note of and will be addressed during the council closing comments or the city manager's comments. Madam Clerk, how many speakers do we have tonight?
5.
Okay, go ahead and call the first 3.
Sandra Murphy, Keith Howerton, and Darrell Terrell.
And if the other 2 can please line up, that would be great. So the first one is Sandra Murphy.
Okay.
Good evening. Muy buenas noches a todos ustedes.
Good evening to all of you.
Hoy vengo a presentar un movimiento que se va a hacer en Moreno Valley.
I am here to propose a movement here in Moreno Valley.
El nombre es Not Worth It, que en español sería No Vale la Pena.
The name is Not Worth It, that in Spanish would be Not Worth It.
Okay. El bullying, una prevención para el bullying es lo que se trata de llevar a cabo.
What we're trying to do is to become aware of bullying, and that's what we're trying to do.
Este evento es con la organización de United Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu en Moreno Valley.
This program is sponsored by Grandmas of the Heart of organization and also the Jiu-Jitsu from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from Moreno Valley.
El lugar va a ser la dirección 12125 Day Street,
The address is 12125 Day Street, Moreno Valley.
donde va a estar localizado el Golden Corral Buffet.
It is next to the Golden Corral Buffet.
El evento es noviembre 9 de 1 a 4.
The event is November 9 from 1 to 4 p.m.
Esto es para las víctimas que han sido del bullying.
These are for the victims that have been bullied.
Tratar de darles un poquito de esperanza
To give them a little sense of hope
para que ellos se levanten y no acepten el bullying.
so that they can empower themselves and reject bullying.
Las primeras 200 personas van a recibir una camiseta gratis,
The first 200 people will receive a free T-shirt.
donde al frente dice,
Al-
it's not worth it.
At front, it says it's not worth it.
Also, se va a dar unas pulseras.
There will also be bracelets given out.
Todo esto es gratis para los muchachos,
This is all free for the youth,
para que vayan aprendiendo a que situaciones
so they can start learning the situations,
de las decisiones que hacen
what happens when the decisions they make
tienen mucho fuerza en la y también que los descontrola en su vida.
they have a lot of power, but they can also get them out of control.
Vamos a tratar de enseñarles a los muchachos
We're trying to teach the youth
lo efectivo que es trabajar en un sistema de compañerismo
the effectiveness of working in a buddy system,
para que ellos traten de prevenir ataques
so that they can prevent attacks.
y sobre todo que lo tienen que reportar
And of course, they have to report it
en las escuelas
at schools,
donde pase eso.
wherever it happens.
Por eso nosotros tenemos autoridad en la ciudad para que controle eso.
And we have an authority at the city level that can be in charge of controlling that.
En las escuelas también.
At schools too.
Y sobre todo en las escuelas no se ha tomado la suficiente en el pasado atención a ese problema que hay tan grande.
At school, it hasn't been taken the necessary steps with this big problem
In the past.
in the past.
So, como comunidad y como madre, como abuela, todos tenemos que unirnos porque este es un problema que afecta a todos.
As a member of the community, as a mother, as a grandmother, this problem affects us all.
La comunidad, las iglesias, el school board tienen que trabajar juntos.
The community, the churches, the school board, they have to join together.
Porque no podemos dejar que estos muchachos
We cannot let the youth, these guys,
to estar desprotegidos,
to be unprotected.
porque muchas veces no sabemos qué es lo que está pasando en la casa.
Because many times we don't know what's happening at home.
Y estos muchachos vienen frustrados y tratan de atacar a otro estudiante.
Sometimes they're frustrated and they take it on another student.
Tal vez tengan un problema que se les hace difícil aprender y nadie les pone atención, que necesitan un poquito más de atención para aprender, porque el tiempo mejor de un niño es la escuela.
And another times they might be dealing with a problem and they don't know how to get help or deal with the problem. And school is very important. It is the most important time of their lives.
Vamos a poner muchos muchachos ahí para que digan sus historias. Tenemos que empezar algo que se tenga que controlar, porque Moreno Valley no va a ser la ciudad que se conoce que niños van a la escuela y mueren.
We're going to have a lot of youth sharing their personal stories, because we don't want Moreno Valley to be the city known as the bully center that happens in school.
Y que perdimos el control. Gracias.
And then we lost the power. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, next speaker is Keith, followed by Daryl, and then Jose Chavez.
Last month, some of you remember I lodged my first complaint
to
to
the
the city council because I got a ticket on Santiago Drive for parking on the day they did street sweeping, and when I looked around, I couldn't see any signs. And so I must have did a good job of complaining, because this week I noticed that there are 3 signs down at our end of the block notifying where street sweeping are, and I want to thank the city manager and Councilman Cabrera for their efforts on that. And now then, if they get a ticket, they have no one to blame but themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Okay, next 3 speakers is Daryl Terrell, Jose Chavez.
Hi, my name is Daryl Terrell. I live here. On October 8th, 2019, Governor Newsom signed AB 1482 to prevent rent gouging and no-fault evictions involving multifamily rental units. However, AB 1482 was not adopted as an urgency measure, so it didn't go into effect when the governor signed it. As a result, there have been a surge of no-fault eviction notices, threats of evictions without cause, in a predatory manner that is harming the health and safety of our residents. As you can see, the unintended consequences of a state law that was designed to assist our people who are living from paycheck to paycheck. That's why, as a city, we must do everything possible in our power to protect our residents from this surge. That's why tonight I'm here to ask you to consider calling a special meeting to adopt an urgency ordinance that I put together, that I'm submitting, that other cities have done, into the public record, that would enact a moratorium on no-fault evictions for rental units built prior to January 1st, 2005, with certain exceptions to take effect immediately through December 31st, 2019. The goal of what I'm presenting to you is not to end all forms of evictions, but to protect our residents who, by no fault of their own, find themselves and their families in a compromising situation during the holiday season. Like AB 1482, this proposed urgency ordinance would provide immediately protection to approximately 39.5% of our residents who are renters. Not saying all of them are apartment renters, but they are renters. And many of those folks are paying more than 30% of their income to housing. And even some of them are paying more than 50%. Your action will protect them in the interim of AB 1482 enactment, and would help prevent the homelessness and placement of long-term residents during the holiday season, and help stabilize the rental market while the city adopts to AB 1482. So every moment that we delay and every second that we wait, someone is at risk. That's why I say it's so important that we try to help our people. It's not the fault that the law has a delay system, but there's people out there, landlords, who will take advantage of the situation, jack up the rent, and try to get these folks out of here. So as our governing body, we must take action. If we're going to do a moratorium, let's have a special meeting this week, then come back next week to pass it so we can protect our people immediately. Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. Okay. You can submit it to our city clerk if you'd like. Yeah. We have Jose Chavez, followed by Luis Palomares. Is that our last speaker that we have?
Yes, sir.
Okay, she'll be the last speaker. Okay, so we'll have Jose Chavez.
Muy buenas noches, Mayor, City Councils.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Tengo mucho tiempo de no venir a los meetings por mis condiciones físicas, pero a veces la necesidad me saca de la casa.
I haven't been here due to physical impediments, but sometimes it's necessary to get out of the house.
Yo tengo más de 5 años haciendo requests que se arregle la área donde yo vivo, que está.
I've been requesting for the area where I live to be fixed for 5 years.
Las calles están muy malas y lo que están haciendo es poniendo chapopote en las cortadas y nunca van a arreglar.
What has been done is just the streets are in a bad shape, and they have only been putting tarp in the areas and the cracks, and that is not working.
Un pantalón nuevo no se puede, un pantalón viejo no se puede remendar con parche nuevo.
An old pair of pants cannot be fixed with a few patches.
Ese es uno de los complaints que tengo, porque en la Chagal hay high speed.
That's one of my complaints that I have, because in Chagall Street there's a high speed traffic.
Y realmente he hecho requests en repetidas ocasiones.
And I have requested this in many occasions.
y el señor Eric, que es el que está encargado de las carreteras, me dijo en 2 ocasiones aquí afuera,
And Eric, who is in charge, he told me in 2 occasions outside
él no va a reparar el neighborhood de nosotros ahí.
that he wasn't going to repair the neighborhood of our neighborhood.
La razón que nuestros impuestos no valen igual que los demás.
The reason is our taxes are not as worth as much as other people's.
Me siento muy triste porque a la semana pasada estuve acá y no hacen nada al respecto.
It makes me sad because I was here a week ago and nothing has been done in regards to the issue.
Primero pedí speed bumps.
I asked for speed bumps.
Dijeron que no.
And I was told no.
Me dijeron que iban a poner a como table speed.
Table speed?
Sí.
Yeah, and I was told that they were going to put table speed.
Pero eso nunca ha dado resultados.
But that hasn't given any results.
La razón,
The reason?
porque Eric me dijo muy claro en 2 ocasiones aquí afuera
And
en el dining.
He was very clear in 2 occasions outside in the dining.
Me dijo que no lo iba a hacer.
He told me that he was not going to do it.
Mi pregunta es,
My question is,
Mayor, ¿quién tiene el power aquí, usted o los empleados?
who has the power here, Mayor? You or the employees?
Es algo que yo ya metí varias formas para arreglar eso y no ha dado resultado.
I have submitted several forms and it hasn't given me any results.
Y de acuerdo al bullying, es lamentable
In reference to bullying, it is sad
que una persona haya muerto y que las personas estén libres.
It's sad that the person has died and the 2 people are free.
Pero yo sé que ustedes son amigos de uña y carne con el school board.
But I know that you guys are tight with the school board.
Y eso no es aceptable. Aquí no se trata de políticas.
And that's not acceptable. A politician is not acceptable. Politician is not acceptable. Sorry.
Tiene que haber justicia como lo dictamina nuestra bandera de los Estados Unidos.
Justice has to be enforced as is mandated by our flag of the United States.
Justicia para todos.
Justice for all.
Esto no se ha dado esta vez que mataron al niño.
And this justice has not been given now that the child was killed.
Ellos están muy tranquilos en la casa mientras la gente sufriendo su dolor.
They are fine at home while the rest of us are in pain.
Eso tiene que cambiar.
That has to change.
Olviden las políticas.
Forget the politics.
Y pónganse a trabajar lo que realmente es safety.
And work on what real safety is about.
Yo que no lo conozco al niño.
I don't know the child.
Ni la familia.
Or the family.
Como ser humano me duele mi corazón.
But as a human being, it hurts my heart.
Porque no hay justicia.
Because there's no justice.
E incluso el superintendente del school board,
including the superintendent of the school board,
dio unas cartas como buenos estudiantes.
Give out some good letters for being good students.
¿Qué clase de estudiantes son estos cuando quitaron la vida de una persona?
What type of students are these when they take the life of another student?
Es incorrecto.
That's incorrect.
Y gracias por todo y espero, señor Mayor, que por favor tome acción en la área de nosotros a reparar las calles.
Many thanks, and I hope you take charge of fixing the streets in our area. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Gracias.
Gracias, Señor Chavez. Okay, we have next speaker, Luis Palomares, and our staff will address those comments, okay? Luis?
Luis Palomares, community activist. I hear what Mr. Chavez is saying. I get it. But it doesn't lay in the hands of just here in this community or in the school board or in the city council. It's all of us as a city as a whole. It's not here, it's across the nation. It's in every school. So we can't just say here and that we don't care, because we do care. We do care. I was at a meeting last week 2 times for this issue that was going on with the bullying. We took care of it. We got on it real quick. The parents called me, we got with the principal, we got on it quick. So, you know, it takes a village, and I know Mr. Chavez is here. Let's see, help out. It gets me upset when they expect the council to do everything, because you do so much for the students as it is. So I don't agree with all what's been said. Okay, on another note, I was here last council meeting, and Mr. Marcus got up there and said, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know the facts. Don't listen to her. And it really disturbed him when the audience clapped because they agreed with some of what I said. Maybe not all of it, but some of it. And he said, it really disturbed him. I think you're disturbed because you did vote no on those issues on the consent calendar. I have it right here. You voted no. On A5, funding for child care development, you voted no. And a grant money for public safety, you voted no. And you come up here and calling me a liar, you're a liar. I don't know how you can get up there and, you know, clean it up at the end. Please don't put your foot in your mouth again and try to clean it up, because all you do is mess it up again. And you did help dismantle that no, I'm sorry. I took some aspirin. It's got me going to Excedrin. Anyway, you did help dismantle that program. It was years ago, but you did. Don't say you didn't. You did. You want me to get the facts on that? And as far as the skate park, you did vote no on that too. You did. And you voted no on the Canyon Springs stadium up there. You did. And it was noble of you last time, the meeting, to say, oh, we need more money for the college. How great. You used that card this time. Wow. But you know, so please don't do it and clean it up, because all you do is making a fool out of yourself because you're lying again. Just leave it alone. You know the truth. I know the truth. I mean, I got the facts right here. You voted nay, right here. You want me to give you this so you can see? Don't call me a liar and don't tell me that I don't know the facts. You don't know the facts because you don't even know how the consent calendar works, because you said, oh, you got to put one, you only can, and you can't vote. No, Mrs. Baca showed you. No, you can pull one thing and vote no on that one item. So don't tell me what, I don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know what I'm talking, you don't know what you're talking about. Thank you.
All right. Okay, that concludes the public comments. We're going to go straight to consent calendars. Sections A through E on the consent calendar. All items under the consent calendars are considered to be routine and non-controversial and may be enacted by one motion. The Board of Library Trustees, Community Redevelopment Agency, Housing Authority can adopt these consent calendars and is deemed a separate motion by each agency and shall be recorded by the city clerk. Items withdrawn for report or discussion will be heard after public hearing items. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start that. Okay, any requests? Seeing none, we'll go to public comments on consent calendar. Madam Clerk, how many speakers?
None.
Okay, close the public comment there. I entertain a motion by council to approve consent calendar.
Motion to approve as
Okay.
is.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Baca. Okay. Okay, second by Councilmember Thornton. Okay, please vote. And the consent calendar passes 5-0. Leads us straight to item F1, which is the public hearing to adopt the substantial amendment to number 1 to the fiscal year 2019-20 action plan. This has to do with the CDBG. I guess there was an organization that has $33,000 unspent money, and so we're moving that money to the repavement of roads. So we'll have a report from Marshall Ironman.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Financial Services.
City Council members. As mentioned, this is a public hearing to adopt a substantial amendment to the current annual action plan. So that's the annual action plan for fiscal year 1920 that we're currently in. With the Community Development Block Grant funds, we have unspent money from the prior year, fiscal year 18 and 19, Most of this from street-related projects where we received favorable bids, so we have those funds available to reprogram. And we also have a component where University Enterprises Corporation declined their award at this point in time. So between those two components, what we're looking at is reprogramming those funds back into street improvements within the CDBG project areas. This would allow us to kind of accelerate some of those street sections that have been identified through the 5-year plans, and we have those laid out in the exhibit to the staff report. With that, that concludes my report this evening.
Thank you. Any council questions of staff? Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to open the hearing. Public testimony, Madam Clerk.
None.
Okay, close the hearing. Entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendations numbers 2 and 3.
Motion to approve.
Okay, moved by Councilmember Marquez. Second by Councilmember Cabrera. Okay, please vote. Okay, and the motion passes 5-0. We're going to go straight to F2, public hearing for the annual action plan. This is a routine item. We do this every year to adopt the 2020-21 objectives and policies and the 2020-21. We'll have a report again from Financial and Management Services.
Thank you, Mayor. With the item this evening, as you mentioned, we're looking forward to the future of fiscal year 2021. With that, as part of the conditions from the federal government for the city to receive community development block grant funds, home funds for affordable housing, and the emergency solutions grants to deal with homeless issues, the city needs to go through a process of multiple public hearings. One of the first meetings, which is tonight, is to adopt the policies and objectives for those programs. Really what we've laid out here is similar to prior years. We basically streamline these in line with HUD's requirements for the objectives of these programs. So we're meeting with the Community Development Block Grant, meeting basic needs in the community, some public safety and other items. And we'll go through a full selection process on those items as we go through finance sub and other areas. With the home funds, again, those funds are for affordable housing, and the ESG is for the dealing with homeless issues within the community. When we're looking at the policies, there's just one item of note. From the prior year, we had a minimum suggested amount on the grants of $10,000 under CDBG. We have it set at $15,000. What we deal with many of the subrecipients is there's a lot of administrative and auditing costs that they have to have. So letting them kind of know that small grant amounts might cost them more than what they're receiving. But it is at council's discretion on where those actual grant amounts will be when they come to council at that point in time. Just one couple other things to note through this process. As we run through this, we will have the notice of funding available for the public and all of the potential grant subrecipients. That will be issued in December, about mid-December. Those applications for grants are typically due around the end of January. So as we receive interest from nonprofits or other entities, we'll point them towards that direction, but they'll have a timeline to apply by January. And then once we go through the council process, we'll end up with the final selection, and we'd be submitting those items to HUD prior to the May 15th deadline. With that completes my report.
Thank you, Marshall. We'll go straight to council questions of staff. Okay, seeing none, I'm going to open the hearing. Public testimony on this item, Madam Clerk.
None.
Okay, close the hearing. Entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendations number 2.
So moved. Oh, go ahead.
Moved by Councilmember Thornton, second by Mayor Pro Tem Baca. So Thornton and Baca, please vote. Okay, the item carries. Really quick, if in the audience, if you could put your hands up if you're here for item F3, which is the proposal for the general plan amendment, or are you here for item G1, which is the Cottonwood Apartments? Okay, only one person? Okay. And then what about Destination Moval Town Center? Anyone here for that? No? Okay. All right. I was trying to find out why we have a big audience, but okay. Okay, good. Okay. All right, great. Okay. This came to visit us, so that's great. All right, so F3 Proposal for general plan amendment, zone change, plot plan for the courtyards at Cottonwood Project with an 80-unit affordable residential development with one manager's unit on 8.37 acres located at the northeast corner of Cottonwood Avenue and Indian Street. We'll have a report from the Community Development Department.
Thank you, Mayor. The item will be presented by Staff Planner Jerry Garacino. I should say
Okay.
Contract Planner Jerry Garacino.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. I'll be presenting the report today for the courtyards at Cottonwood Project. This site is a vacant site at the northeast corner of Cottonwood Avenue and Indian Street. There should be a presentation.
You need something, PowerPoint?
Okay. Yes, there should be a PowerPoint. Hopefully we'll get it up shortly.
We'll have someone talk to our media people.
The applicant, Moreno Valley Housing Authority, seeks to develop 81 multiple family affordable housing units on 6.78 acres, referred to as Parcel 1 in this report, and designate 1.59 acres for public facilities, referred to as Parcel 2 in this report, and that will be retained by the city. The surrounding land uses around this project are a combined Moreno Valley Adult School and March Mountain High School to the north, and single-family residential in the R5 district to the east, south, and west of the project. The proposed general plan amendment for Parcel 1 would change the designation from R5 to Residential 10 to allow 10 dwelling units to the acre. And on Parcel 2, it would amend the general plan from R5 to public facilities to match the general plan designation for the adjacent school. The change of zone that's being proposed is to change Parcel 1 from Residential 5 to Residential 10, and also to modify Parcel 2 from Residential 5 to Public District. This would make our zoning and general plan consistent. The proposed development would consist of 80 affordable units and one manager's unit. There would be 60 units that are designated for families and 20 units that would be designated for seniors. Other amenities in the project include a community building, community pool, a tot lot, basketball court, and walking path.
And don't worry about we have the documents here.
Okay.
Yep.
The project will have 2 points of access, a full access entrance onto Cottonwood, and an exit-only entrance on Indian Street. Both access points will be gated. In addition, the project will complete Myron Street. It's a westerly cul-de-sac. That cul-de-sac will not be used by the development. It will only be for the benefit of the adjacent neighborhood. So there will be no pedestrian or vehicular traffic from this project onto that cul-de-sac. The project will provide 118 parking spaces. This includes 83 carports, 35 open parking spaces for residents and guests, and this amount of parking is consistent with the development code. The buildings reflect a contemporary architectural style with high quality and durable materials, including concrete shake roofs, metal awnings, stacked stone accents, and energy efficient windows, as you can see in the two-story elevations. The one-story senior building was located in front of the two-story units and adjacent to Cottonwood Avenue. The one-story building uses the same architectural style and building materials as the two-story buildings. The project has been designed to meet the landscape standards for the city's municipal code. Affordable housing incentives have been requested by the developer consistent with the city's affordable housing program. The project is proposing to provide affordable housing to people that are extremely low at 30% of median income, and to low-income residents at 60% of the median income. Per the city's density bonus program for affordable housing, found in section 9.03.050, the applicant is requesting a number of incentives and concessions in exchange for the long-term affordability. These include density increase, affordable parking restrictions, modification to development standards, and development impact and park impact fee reductions. The details of these concessions would all be worked out in a density bonus agreement between the city and the developer, and this has been a condition of approval for the project. An environmental study has been prepared for the project in compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act guidelines. The City of Moreno Valley has determined that the proposed project will not have a significant effect on the environment with implementation of mitigation measures, and therefore a mitigated negative declaration and mitigation monitoring and reporting program have been prepared for the project and represents the city's independent judgment and analysis. So with that, staff recommends that the City Council take the following actions: adopt the attached resolution certifying the initial study and mitigated negative declaration prepared for the project and adopting a mitigation monitoring and reporting program prepared for plot plan 19-0110. Adopt the attached resolution approving general plan amendment application 19-0108. Introduce and conduct first reading by title only of the attached ordinance approving zone change 19-0109 and adopting the attached resolution approving plot plan application 19-0110. And finally, scheduling a second reading to adopt the attached ordinance for the next regular City Council meeting. With that, I conclude staff's report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, sir. Any council questions of staff? And again, this is the general plan amendment, also mitigated negative deck, and ordinance and resolution for the plot plan. Okay, seeing none. Okay, I'm going to open the hearing. Applicant testimony. If we can have, if the applicant would like to do a testimony, that's fine. Yep, okay. I'll just
Good
put,
evening.
3 minutes. Is that fine?
Yep. Okay. Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, staff. My name is Jim Jernigan with Rancho Balaga Developers. I've been in front of you before to get this project to the point that it is today. I've had the opportunity to meet with most of you and show you projects we've built in the past and what we expect to do with this one. I would just want to let you know I do concur with the conditions of approval that were presented by planning and that we had passed by the Planning Commission 2 weeks ago. We had a couple residents that expressed some concerns. They were going to be immediately to the east of our project. So after the meeting, I met with them, gave them my contact information, and subsequently met in my office with one of them. He asked for a site plan to clarify some of the lighting issues, access to the site, and other items. I gave him a handful of site plans. He took them to the neighbors, and I had one that had concern. I've left a message with him. I'm reaching out to the neighbors to make sure. I grew up in that neighborhood. I'm almost a 50-year resident of Moreno Valley, so I used to ride my bike by that site when I was going to high school. So I'm concerned with that we're good neighbors and that we provide a good product for the city, make the city and staff proud. And I'm happy to answer any other questions if you have any or anything else.
Thank you. Thank you. Any council questions of applicant at this time? If you have one, if not, that's fine. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, public testimony, Madam Clerk.
None.
Okay, is it about this item? Okay. Just for next time, just turn it into the bailiff. And then City Clerk will do 3 minutes.
Let me slow down. I took some Excedrin. I ain't used to those things, but that's why I'm moving faster here. Wow, I think this is a great project. We need more of this to come to our city. It just does this, the community a service And I am so glad that, you know, you're considering you're going to take care of it. You're going to make it happen, I hope. And, you know, I commend the ones that bring it to the council and do all this work. It takes a long time to get all this going. It doesn't happen overnight. And it'll probably take a while before it even gets here. But this is what we need, more and more of this. And I just commend the staff, the city, and the developer here. Thank you, and keep it coming. Thank you again.
Okay. Thank you, Louise. Got an applause. Okay. All right. Hearing closed. Okay. Council deliberation if desired. Okay. Seeing that there is none, I'm going to close the deliberation. I'll entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendation numbers 1 and 2.
Move to approve.
Okay. Moved by Councilmember Marquez. Any second? Second by Councilmember Cabrera. Okay. Please vote for that one. That motion carries. Second one is I entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendations numbers 3. Motion by Councilmember Cabrera, second by Marquez. Councilmember Marquez, please vote. Okay, motion carries. And then the last one is to approve the plot plan application and then schedule the second reading, which is recommendations numbers 4 and 5. I entertain a motion. Okay, moved by Councilmember Marquez. Second by Councilmember Thornton. Okay, please vote. Where's it? Okay, motion carries. We're now going to move on to item G1, which is general business. It's actually quite similar to this, but this is the funding allocation and support for application of low-income housing and deposition and conveyance of property. So again, we'll have a brief report from staff, since this was kind of related, and this is the funding allocation, and then the application for the low-income housing. All right, report of financial services, financial management services.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members. As you mentioned, this follows item F3. So with the courtyards at Cottonwood, item F3 works through some of the land use components on that project. What this item addresses is the financing of this project. So there are 2 resolutions that are set forth in front of you. One is a resolution that basically identifies the potential funding available from the city for this project. Part of that would be $3.5 million out of the Neighborhood Stabilization Program, which is a federal fund we have for affordable housing. The other component is $1 million out of the home funds. So the first resolution would basically identify our intent to help this fund. The second resolution is the transference of the property site to the developer to complete the project. Now, these 2 items are necessary so that the developer can submit an application to hopefully receive California tax credits, which would fund a large component of this project. So again, with the land use components in place, the next step is the funding. This application, which is due by November 15th, would fund, I believe, in excess of $20 million on this project. These 2 resolutions just set forth our intent to support the project. If the developer does receive funding from the state, or when he receives funding from the state, we'll be coming back to City Council with the full development disposition agreement and affordable housing agreement, where we'll determine the final aspects of the project and approve that before moving forward with any development. And that concludes my report.
Okay. Thank you. So we're just applying for supporting the application for the low-income housing tax credits. Okay. Any council questions of staff? All right. Seeing none. Public comments, Madam Clerk, on this item?
Yes, Luis Palomares.
Okay. And Luis, this is a very similar, it's the same, pretty much the same thing.
Luis Palomares, community activist. Again, I mean, it's great that we're having all this come, and I hope it gets all done up. And, you know, our seniors, we need this for our seniors, especially our seniors. You know, they're all on fixed incomes. They need this kind of housing for them. So I'm so glad it's coming, and it's been a long time waiting. So finally we're going forward, and we're going to make it happen. And thank you again, the staff, the council, and the developers. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Luis. Council deliberation. Any comments here on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendations to numbers 1 and 2.
So moved.
Okay, moved by Mayor Pro Tem Baca. Second by Councilmember Thornton. Please vote. Okay, motion carries. We're going to move on to item G2, which is Destination Moval Town Center. It's a development concept for city-owned property that we own at the northwest corner of Nason Street and Alessandro. This is something that I have actually been pushing for quite some time, and I know that there's the support as well, because in our city we don't have a town center. So we're really trying to push for a nice little town center in our community. So we have a report actually from our city manager, Tom DeSantis.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council. We are really excited to present to you the proposal to move forward with the Destination Moval program, and the first phase would be Destination Moval Town Center. We believe that this program really kicks off the next phase in our city's evolution by energizing a sense of place right in the center of Moreno Valley. The vision is for an exciting downtown-like area on acreage, about 60 acres, that the city has owned for decades. I believe that this initiative would really mark the most creative civic undertaking in Moreno Valley's history. And so what we're recommending to you is approval to seek proposals for a public-private partnership to make this vision a reality in the town center. This is also consistent with the Momentum Moval Strategic Plan. Initiative 1.4.4 directs the city to determine the best and highest use of the property, the city's property at that location, and explore an urban village concept, and to complete the land use analysis component of the Nason Corridor Study. Now, we've done the Nason Corridor Study, a couple phases now. That's been funded by SCAG, and that really has focused on the broader area. The city's acreage is just a component within the overall study area, and we think that the information that's been prepared as part of the SCAG-funded studies will be helpful in the Destination Moval program. As the mayor indicated, we've had a series of discussions over the past year and a half or more about moving ahead with this thing. And so we're really excited to present this to you. We believe that, that this dynamic area will be appealing not only to residents, but will attract visitors who come to that area for a workshop recreate experience in that area. We also believe that the spot is right for a complementary housing development that would fit within the overall spirit and layout of a town center. We envision, in our RFP, we envision uses that include civic uses, commercial space, professional uses, which include office and medical, research and development, the housing component, as well as a parking structure to maximize use of the property. The process we have in mind is that I've tasked our Economic Development Department to lead the effort. They will issue, assuming the council approves tonight, they'll issue this RFP. Staff will review the proposals. Staff will review the proposals and then work with the Economic Development Subcommittee to evaluate what we receive and to make recommendations. There may be a point in this process where the council may wish to even receive some presentations at public meetings from the top 1 or 2 or maybe 3 contenders. So we're trying to view this in a very dynamic and open fashion. We've laid out a timeline here that, you know, we're more interested in quality and the overall viability of the project. And so these timelines really are conceptual at this point, but we're going to recommend that the council maintain some flexibility depending on what we get back and what you think as a group, what you think is best as far as moving forward. So if it's approved tonight, we'll jump on issuing the RFP. This spring, we'll begin the evaluation process. and we anticipate late spring, summer, coming to the council for deliberation and direction. So we really appreciate the council's enthusiasm. I know I've spoken with all of you about this concept over time, and I know you share our collective exuberance over what really could happen here. And so we look forward to your direction on this matter. That concludes our presentation.
Thank you. Tom, appreciate that. We'll have any council questions of staff on this item. Okay. Seeing none, any public comments on this item?
Yes, we have two. Luis Palomares and Cassandra Tejada.
Okay.
Luis Palomares, community activist. This is great. You know, our city's up and running. And hopefully it comes sooner than later if we get it all squared away and all done. And I know the staff's always on the ball, so we need it. It's been a long time coming. And I know they're gonna build a school on the corner of Moreno Valley Elementary, a brand new school. It should be up and running in about a year or so, on the corner of Nason and Cottonwood. So it's gonna look great, all the other new buildings coming in there. And housing, you said housing. I think this is a long time coming. It's a great concept. I can't say enough for this council that has made so much happen in the few years that hadn't happened in years. So thank you again. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Thank you, Luis. The next speaker is Cassandra.
Good evening. It's Cassandra Tejada. I'm a MVUSD employee. I wanted to say hello to the council, staff, and the residents of Moreno Valley. The question that I had was, there are schools, or there will be schools developed. How would the traffic be for the kids that are walking home from school, or just see if there's going to be abundance of people in the neighborhood and what time, the times? I'm just concerned about that. So if there can be more information in regards to that, I would appreciate it. Pretty much it.
Okay, thank you. All right, and just to clarify, you know, normally I don't respond back to public comments, but just to clarify, I mean, it is an area where there are some homes, but it's an area that's kind of vacant right now, and so there'll be obviously traffic studies that'll be conducted and all those kinds of things as well. So again, we're just issuing an RFP to see which developers out there throughout the state and the country that would like to work on this with us and partner with us. I think there's many different ways that we can go about this so that we can get this going. We can get our civic center there, commercial, all different types of mixed uses, and not only bring jobs while we're building that, okay, but we're also maintaining and those jobs for the people that are there working there. All right, okay, so that closes the public comments there. We'll go to deliberation. Okay, and we do have one from Mayor Pro Tem Baca.
Okay, so what we're looking at is someone out there, a developer that wants to partner with the city. So it's not a done deal, and we need to know what the suggestions are, the traffic studies, and community input. So we're just starting, and I really look forward to a town center. I've been to a lot of communities that have an area for the residents to hang out, to go shopping, to go to dinner. I would like a swimming pool, a community pool for the residents of Moreno Valley to learn how to swim, for safety, basic skills. There's a lot that I desire, but we need to, start by searching for a partner.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we are starting, but we're going to move fast on this because our city's been waiting for too long for a town center. So we're going to be pushing for this. Okay. Next speaker, Councilmember Cabrera.
Thank you, Mayor. And as the mayor already said, this is something that we have been, looking forward to for a long time. And so to see it up here on our agenda is really exciting. I love to see the enthusiasm from our staff and from the community as well. We're going to have several, we'll have multiple opportunities to get input as well, to receive input from the community, from the public, so that you can let us know. And we've already done this in the past already. We've had events where, we've given you layouts and designs regarding what is to come. So definitely looking forward to it, because this is an opportunity for a partnership between the city and a developer to come in and build something special. This community, this entire region of the Inland Empire is going to continue to grow. Population is going to continue to increase. Incomes are going to continue to go up. And so this is an amazing opportunity for a developer out there within the next few months to submit a bid and form this partnership with us to build this city's first town center, which is much, much needed and long overdue for our community. And as my colleagues already mentioned a few things, whether that's a community swimming pool or a new police substation or another amphitheater, there's so many different things that we can do here with this town center. And we plan on including residential, so it'll be a mixed-use development so that it's self-sustaining. So that we have people who live in the area that can walk to the hospitals, whether it's nurses, doctors, whoever it is, so that they can walk to work and they can live there and they can eat and have entertainment all in the same place. So it's really exciting, and it's definitely an opportunity to leave a lasting legacy here for the entire Inland Empire. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm glad that this item is finally here on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Entertain a motion to approve staff's recommendation number 1.
So moved.
Okay, moved by Mayor Pro Tem Bacas, seconded by Councilor Marquez. Okay. All right, please vote. Okay, item passes. Okay, motion carries. All right, we're gonna go straight to city council reports. And we'll go ahead and have Mayor Pro Tem Baca, you can start us off. And just go ahead and do your other 2 reports.
Thank you, Mayor. My first report is on the March Joint Powers Authority. At that meeting, the commission approved, this is the meeting on October 23rd, the commission approved a development code amendment to limit outdoor construction within 500 feet of residences to the hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturdays. For the Riverside County Transportation Commission, in October, Metrolink and RCTC adjusted train schedules on the 91 Paris Valley and Riverside lines to improve service to Los Angeles and Orange counties. The big news for Moreno Valley residents is the new availability of the weekend service on the Paris Valley line, and you can visit www.rctc.org for further details. For WRCOG staff reported that the TUMP program had collected over $63 million in the 2018-2019 fiscal year, which is one of the highest years since the inception of the program in 2003. The Executive Committee approved an adjustment to the TUMP fees based on the 2019 TUMP Construction Cost Index. This will result in a slight increase in TUMP fees, which will be implemented on July 1st, 2020. The TUMP fees for single-family residences will be phased in and fully implemented on January 1st, 2021. The adjustments will result in approximately 5% additional revenue per year after implementation, which will help local agencies have to make up the gap with other funding sources when building TUMP eligible facilities. And that concludes my reports. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. City Manager's report. Oh, sorry, Councilmember Marquez, Western Riverside County Regional Conservation Authority.
Thank you, Mayor. Every year, the RCA has a annual report. For 2018, they provide an additional 2,066 acres, which they added to their habitat reserves. This report stated the CA will continue its effort in the next several years to acquire more land in the communities to build their acreage out there. RCA, what they do is a conservation authority. They buy this property from owners, and they want to preserve those properties. So that's what this organization does. So again, last year was over 2,000 acres that they were able to purchase, and they hope to double that by next year. That's in my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Marquez. We'll have City Manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to respond regarding the issue about speed tables on Chagall. Our public staff has been working on this. They even worked with the fire department to come up with the concept of speed tables rather than speed humps, so that there would be, we're going to try that out to reduce the impact on emergency responses, particularly with our fire engines. We've also made some changes on Alessandro, filled in the median there, so that there's not as much traffic. You can no longer make a left turn onto Chagall from Alessandro, and so that is designed to cut down the traffic flowing there. We appreciate Mr. Chavez's work with us. As we know, there's a petition signature process that's required for speed humps, and Mr. Chavez has volunteered to help us with that. We require signatures because we want to make sure that all the residents in the area, the majority of them, are good with the installation of these devices. Sometimes there are residents who don't favor them for various reasons. Sometimes it's noise. Sometimes they just don't like what it does to the flow of traffic. But that's the process. We appreciate Mr. Chavez's willingness to gather the signatures. He has gathered some, and as soon as he turns in the sufficient number of signatures, our Public Works team is ready to move forward with the process. So we continue to be ready to go with that. I did prepare an item to talk about with you tonight, and it's something that is some really, really good news. I think you're going to like this. I'd like to share some demographic trend information with you, some information that shows what's been going on in Moreno Valley over the last 5 years. First, Moreno Valley is growing. The report that we received from Environics Analytics shows that our population grew nearly 5% over the last 5 years. The 2020 population estimate is just under 214,000 people. That's really great. Moreno Valley is coming of age. Over the same period, our average age has shifted from 32.7 to 34.3 years. Moreno Valley is working, and the type of work they're performing is also changing quite a bit. The number of city residents who hold white-collar jobs has increased by 97% compared with 5 years ago. Employment in blue-collar fields has dropped by about 35%. Moreno Valley is learning. Growth in college-bound students has increased as more than 4,200 additional residents have headed off to college. Now, while that's a substantial number, we still face challenges in this important area. And the successful programs that our council has pioneered, the Promise Initiative, the Moval Learns program, through those programs, the city's taking strong steps to increase overall educational attainment in our community. And as we know, that's one of the real keys to successful and rewarding careers. Moreno Valley is prospering. Two of the most important barometers of our community's economic success are seen in home values and household income. And that's why I've saved these figures for last. The median value of owner-occupied housing has exploded over the past 5 years. It was $225,573. It's now $340,000, just a little over, an increase of nearly 51% in 5 years. And now to average household income. I have definitely saved the best for last. This is probably the measurement that's most important to Moreno Valley families. And this figure has skyrocketed, growing from 5 years ago, we're at $62,712 average household income. I'm delighted to let you know that figure is now $85,356, an increase of more than 36%. That is a tough needle to move on the gauge in any community. And we've more than moved it. We have really plowed forward, and that's a real difference for families in the community, for business owners in the community. People have more disposable income, and that's wonderful for our business community. So we are thriving. It is wonderful to share this news with the council and with our community. I'll send you an email so you have this as well. This independent data, these are not our numbers, this independent data reaffirms that Moreno Valley really is coming into its own, and that the council's commitment to economic development and job creation is having a profoundly positive impact on residents and families throughout our community. We're really excited about our progress and enthusiastic as we look forward to Moreno Valley's continued emergence as the economic engine of inland Southern California. And that concludes my report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. All right, City Attorney's report.
Nothing tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, this brings us to reports and comments from council members. We'll start with Council Member Dr. Thornton.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for that spirited update, Tom. That was great. I'm happy to hear about all those the amazing growth and opportunities that are happening for our residents. I wanted to thank the council for their support on F1. Just want to reiterate that this brings almost $34,000 that is now going to be invested in road improvements. So we hear you, the residents. We ourselves drive the streets, and we're trying to take advantage of every opportunity to improve the road conditions. I attended the homelessness policy workshop yesterday in Sacramento. This was coordinated by the League of California Cities. In the workshop, it was about 300 electeds from throughout the state that attended, and it was really about emphasizing collaboration and partnerships and addressing homelessness. This is something that's impacting the entire state. There's no city that's exempt from experiencing it. And so I really walked away really hardened in the idea that we need to partner with our regional cities and really put stress and emphasis on the county, specifically the County Board of Supervisors, in helping us to disseminate and spend Prop 63 mental health funds on creating programs to address the chronically mental ill and create a regional shelter and programs, because this isn't just an issue that's impacting Moreno Valley. And so as a region, we need to come together to address it. I know Councilman Marquez is also in attendance, so I'm sure he'll speak a little bit about that. What I do want to encourage our residents to do is put a save the date for January 29th from 5:30 to 9:30 a.m. We will be engaging in the Riverside County's annual homeless point in time count. If you've never, it's going to be my fourth one. If you've never done a point in time count, I really would advise you to do it. We go out and we connect with the homeless and we conduct a survey, and this helps us to determine our numbers. Registration's not open yet, but please just Google Riverside County point in time count, and they'll send you an email once registration opens. I also attended an executive education forum for local leaders that was hosted by USC. We heard from faculty and experts. Councilmember Cabrera was also in attendance, so he might speak on this. And experts on their research around opioid crisis, cause and solutions for addiction, and then also the theory of collaboration negotiation. So it's very important for me as someone who's data driven in my decision making to hear the numbers and the research behind some of these issues that are impacting us. So when we talk about social problems like homelessness and housing and employment, it's a very emotional and political conversation, but what's the data and the numbers say? And so it's very important that for me especially, I go to professional development opportunities like this that can help us amend theoretical learning with real life experiences in order to make the decisions that we make here for the city, ones that will have results. I would like to thank the mayor and Dr. Ketsioria from Moreno Valley, the superintendent for Moreno Valley Unified School District, for hosting myself and the mayor. We went on a visit to Hidden Springs, Palm Middle School, Vista Heights, and Canyon Springs High School. I'm an alum of Palm and Canyon Springs, so I'd like to thank those principals and the teachers and the students for showing us the amazing programs that are going on at those schools and provide us with information. It was a really eye-awakening tour, and I really appreciate Dr. Kessior taking time out to walk us through those different campuses. I think I saw someone in the audience. Is there someone here? Is there a group here from Human Services Club at Moreno Valley College? Yeah, you guys show up to these city council meetings, and as a social worker, I have to challenge you to at least get one person to come up and make a comment during our public comment section, right? Get 3 minutes, give us a little bit of education about whatever community service project you guys are engaging in, what's inspiring you to engage in civic participation. It's awesome that you guys show up, but I know I'm not your instructor, but if I were, that would be an assignment for you, so keep that in mind. I'd like to thank Moreno Valley College for having me as the keynote speaker for their recent Veteran Scholarship Breakfast. It was great, and congratulations to those veterans, and the faculty and the staff over at MVC is so veterans friendly, so I'm really happy to be a part of that. And I want to encourage our residents to come out and join us on Veterans Day at 11 a.m. for our 12th annual Veterans Day ceremony. I will be the speaker. I'm very honored to be that. We live in such a veteran-friendly community, and we're so blessed and fortunate to not only be close to March Air Reserve Base, but have a very large veterans population here. So please come out to that celebration and take advantage of opportunities like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have Councilmember Marquez.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, yesterday, like Dr. Thornton said, we attended a workshop in Sacramento. What I like to do is one day have a study session just on homelessness. Have the community come out and give us an input with how they feel or what we should do to help the homeless problem in the city. You know, we don't really have a homeless problem. I'll be honest with you. After what we heard yesterday, you know, look at downtown Los Angeles. I mean, they do have a problem. And there's a lot of states, a lot of cities that have a homeless problem. Compared to ours, we really don't have a homeless problem. But there's not a solution. And we sat there hoping that they'd come up with a solution, but there was no solution to this. So I like to bring something to our city and have our residents get involved and maybe have a study session and discuss this openly in public and see what we can do. So I'd like to see my colleagues would go for that and set that up. Secondly, on Saturday, we had the Day of Communication Service down at Cinnamon Park. And I want to say, these youth that were out there did a great job. That part looks like $1 million now. We had, and I definitely want to shout out to Highland Fairview volunteers. They were out in groups, and they did a great job out there. So I want to tell them, thank you for coming out and helping the community. Also Saturday evening, myself and Dr. Thornton attended the military ball at the Riverside Convention Center. And it was nice, black suits. No, you didn't wear a uniform, did you? No, she wore a nice looking dress. And it was nice. All the military was there. But, you know, I encourage veterans to come out at the next military ball. Come on out and mingle with the active military people out there. It's beautiful. They would like it. We had a lot of active reserves and active full-time active military people there, but there wasn't that many veterans out there. But it's open to you guys, all the military, girls, women, whatever. Come on out next year and join us in those military balls. They're really nice. You get to suit up, put your tuxes on or black suits, and it look nice. And with that, good night.
All right. We have Councilmember Cabrera.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few items here. So first, I do want to just mention real quick the forum that we had at USC, and it was a really nice opportunity to learn some new information. Specifically, two things that I really walked away with. That I felt like I learned a lot. One of them was the topic of addictions, right? So we really dug deep into that, and one of the things when that topic comes up, most of the time I think we go directly to drugs when we talk about addiction, but it's much larger than just drugs. It's a whole host of other things, and so it was really digging deep into that and exploring the issue as a society as a whole in this country, and then how can we solve it by having proper relationships, having those support structures around us, having family members, people that really care about us, and having those the healthcare services as well. So that was the first one. The second one was the demographic changes, which are huge, and Tom, you kind of mentioned this as well. And as a Latino, I'm proud whenever statistics come out that show that the Latino population in California is now a plurality, right? So there's in terms of the population, now we make up the biggest portion of the California population, and it took a really long time to get here, and it's estimated, I believe, by 2060, if I remember correctly, and as a whole in the country, that will be in the same position for the entire country. So with that comes a lot of responsibility, though, a lot of responsibility to help our communities and that are really underserved. And so that was a really nice opportunity. Also want to mention on November 6th at Landmark Middle School, let me check the time here. It's going to be at 6 p.m. There's an open house for Kaiser. The Kaiser Hospital is going to have an open house at Landmark to talk about the expansion for their hospital. So they're looking at adding, I think it's about 300 new beds or so, right around there. And so they want input from the community. So that's a really good thing because we have more jobs coming to the community, more doctors, more nurses, and it's an amazing opportunity. So I wanted to mention that. Also, the school tour that we're currently conducting, that's still going on. We just visited Rancho Verde High School. This Thursday, we're going to go to Moreno Valley High School, and then we're going to Valley View, where I went to school for a year. So it's just really nice to be able to spend time with our youth and really hear what they have to say. And again, this goes back to having those relationships, having communication, being able to have someone there by your side that's willing to listen to what you're going through, to listen to your ideas, and to have someone to confide in, right? To share your thoughts and the things that you're going through. It's very, very important because the last thing that we as humans need to do is isolate ourselves. That's the most dangerous thing that we can do, to separate ourselves from others, to separate ourselves from our families and be alone. It's not healthy. So we need to be social, and we're naturally social animals. So the school tour is going very well so far. This Saturday, we have a road cleanup through the Emerging Leaders Council. They're cleaning up Cottonwood from Heacock to Graham. So that's this Saturday at 8:30. Any volunteers are more than welcome. We provide all the materials like the trash bags, the trash grabbers, and gloves and all that good stuff. So please, if anyone wants to volunteer, we welcome you this Saturday at 8:30. They're on Cottonwood between Heacock and Graham. Also, the Community Day of Service went very, very well over at Sunnymead Park. They painted bleachers. They planted, I should say we, because we were out there getting blisters and everything. But yeah, planting trees, planting flowers, and yeah, we have some folks here who are out there helping out as well, So thank y'all. Thank y'all for being there. And let's see. I just want to make a quick shout out to Florin Decor. So I had gone to the ribbon cutting, but just a few days ago, I actually went for the first time and spent the time to walk around. If you haven't had a chance, I highly recommend to go and just look around the store. It's amazing. And if you're going to be doing work on your house, they have a lot of displays, so you can get ideas and really brainstorm. Oh, this is the color, and it's very affordable. They have a large range of different kinds of tile and countertops and all that. So definitely check it out. And the last thing I want to talk about is the census 2020. I can't stress how important it is to have everyone counted, as many people as possible counted. Here in Moreno Valley, I believe the last census, it was like 67% or so of our population that was counted. That number needs to go up. Why? Because of things like funding. Funding and representation are two of the biggest reasons. So funding, you might hear that the number of people that are counted goes into the equation of how much money we get as local municipalities, cities, counties, school districts. But it's important to also look at what exactly does that money go towards. So just a couple of the things, there's a whole list. Things like Medicare. Allocation for Medicare funding is based on the census. It has a big part of it. Also things like SNAP, federal Pell Grants. I'm a student right now. I wouldn't be able to go to school without debt if it wasn't for federal Pell Grants. And the census information goes into determining how much funding we get for that. Also student loans and grants like the CDBG that we use for the Homeless to Work program, for the SWAG program, for the affordable housing and all of that. So it's extremely important that we count everyone in this community. And I also want to mention that there are a lot of job opportunities. So, for students, I think this is an amazing opportunity. The United States Census Bureau is hiring 500,000 people around the country, and the wages start around like $17 an hour. So that's pretty good, a pretty good wage, and you get a really good experience as well. This only happens once every 10 years. So we may not get this opportunity again. So I just want to stress the importance of it. And also, I'll end with this, that there is no citizenship question on the census. That's done. That's a done deal. It will not be on the census. And that caused a big controversy. So just want to make it clear, there is no citizenship question on the census next year. You'll be able to start filling those out in March of 2020, and it'll go all the way through April. So right now we're working on some things of how do we get more marketing out there, how do we inform more people, and that's the most important part, educating our community, educating the neighborhoods that don't really have access to this information, and letting them know how important it is to fill out that census form. So with that, thank you so much.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Baca?
Thank you, Councilmember Cabrera. It is very important to do the census. I concur with his comments. And also about Floor and Decor, it's in District 1, the capital of the city. And it's the biggest store in the western United States. So you don't need to go to Corona, even if you live there. You don't have to go to your local store, wherever you live. Come to Moreno Valley, shop Moreno Valley. I want to say thank you to all the volunteers that attended the Community Day of Service, because it's with the volunteers that we keep our city looking as fabulous as it does. Most of us attended the League of California Cities annual conference in Long Beach last month, and there's the issue of homelessness that keeps coming up, and there's really no solution at the present time other than that we continue to do what we're doing here in Moreno Valley, which is our Homeless to Work program. It's just like anything else, it's not for everyone. And not everybody wants a job, and not everyone wants a home, and not everybody wants to get off the street. But those that do, we're here for them, and we're going to do everything we can to help the disadvantaged that need to be placed in jobs, homes, programs. So this program is great. I want to say thank you to our mayor for bringing this program to the city. We also attended, most of us attended, the First Tee, which is also in District 1 at the Cottonwood Golf Center. And if you don't know what it is, please come, bring your kids, and it's a fantastic program, especially for kids that, have idle time, have extra time after school, because not everybody plays golf, but even if you don't know what it is or don't like it, bring the kids, because it really shows them a lot of discipline and a lot of morals. It's a good program. Come out and look at it. And if you want, go online and look it up, First Tee. We had a very full and successful Dia de los Muertos event here at our community, at the conference center for Dia de los Muertos, which was October the 25th, was the day that we celebrated it, and it was in the parking lot in front of the Conference and Rec Center. And I can tell you that I was there, that it was jam-packed. So it's something that people like. There was a lot of vendors and the dancers. All the performances were just fantastic. So make it an annual event, and I'm hoping that our next event will be at our new amphitheater. I want to say congratulations to my colleague, Dr. Thornton, Councilmember Thornton, for attending the Moreno Valley College 5th Annual Veteran Scholarship Breakfast. A lot of the staff was there. We had a table, and she was our keynote speaker. So congratulations, and thank you for representing us well. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you. Oh, I want to say thank you to our staff, because today's meeting, we just got so much done, and we just have a lot going on. And I know that with our staff together as a team and the council as a team, that we're moving Moreno Valley forward quickly. Thank you.
Thank you. And like Mayor Pro Tem Baca said, we are moving Moreno Valley forward. There's a lot of positive things that are happening in our community. I mean, so many great things. I mean, like the city manager mentioned, you know, $85,000 household income. That's amazing. And like you mentioned, it is very difficult to move that. So we've increased it now to 85,000 household income, and that really helps attract more businesses here as well, because that's one thing that they'll look at. You know, what's our average household income? And then if it's high or a certain amount, maybe we might be able to get Trader Joe's or those other types of businesses that come here as well. So hopefully we can try to get some more businesses, and that's something that we can attract. We also have our town center that we're going to be doing a request for proposal, a partnership with a company, hopefully, to get that going, to get civic use involved on that area off of Nason between Cottonwood and Alessandro. It's so important that we do something with that land, that we bring jobs, that we build that area out as well. And then I'm also really excited about the new amphitheater that we're going to be having, hopefully by next year as well, a new performing arts center outdoor that's going to be there. So there's so many exciting things to be proud of our city, and I'm very, very proud as the mayor of this city. I do want to mention that I did attend the First Tee ribbon cutting event, and this event was very, very special to me. This is, again, like Mayor Pro Tem noted, it's right off of Frederick, and it's very special to me because that center, that golf center there, I actually, there used to be a youth center there back in the 90s, and I used to actually go there and play ping pong. So we used to have like a little youth center there that was free for the community. And so this First Tee, I mean, it really rings home to me really nice, because it's not only just teaching them golf, but it's also teaching them social skills and giving them the opportunities to learn about perseverance, responsibility, values that are so important that really our kids really need right now. They really need that. And sometimes, you know, as a former teacher, you know, for teaching 14 years, you know, we get caught up with the academics, and it's really hard to teach those social skills, and especially when they're really young, you know. So I think this is a really great program, and I know it says $80 for 8 weeks, but don't, you know, get caught on that. You know, just apply, you know, to put your child in there, and they do have scholarships to take care of that. They just kind of put that amount, you know, there just for people to take it kind of serious, you know, although I probably shouldn't be saying that, but just apply. They have scholarships. Okay, don't worry about the cost, and just donate what you can, okay, to join. But it's a really, really great program. I'm hoping that will build that golf course up even some more. The Dia de los Muertos is also something very special to me as well, and also to my family as well, something that we celebrate to celebrate the souls of our family members that passed, right? And so it was really nice to see a few folks that were there that had altars, and to see the community kind of come together. I want to give a round of applause to our park staff. If we can give them a round of applause. Thank you. Because they did, to be honest, such an amazing, amazing, amazing job. I want to say we had more than double the amount of residents from last year. I think so. You know, I wasn't out there doing the clickers, but I think we had more than double of the residents that were out there, and everybody was just so happy. The vendors that were there, the music, everything was really nice and organized, and everybody felt very, very safe. I also attended the Rancho Verde High School. It was the regional marching band performance. And so this is a regional performance that they actually had schools from LA, schools from West Covina, there was one from Chino Hills, and they all competed to see, you know, who would be the best band, I guess, in the region. And so Rancho Verde, you know, Moreno Valley, you know, we hosted it, and we also did very, very well. That I guess they have a rule that if you host it, you don't get the trophy. But what the judges said was that, I mean, if we weren't hosting it, we would have won first place. And so, and you could really see that. I was on the stage. It was it was Thursday. The wind was very, very cold. But the students, they did an amazing job. And I think that's why they were selected to play in the Rose Parade, you know, to perform in the Rose Parade. I mean, they're just amazing compared to the other high schools. They really, really are. And they actually have over 300 students on that marching band. So it was really amazing to see how the directors actually had them move around, and everything was so nice and organized. I also want to say that it's really important in talking about the youth. I'm always talking about the youth. I know Councilmember Cabrera is as well. We're really about education and putting our kids first, which is really important. They're future leaders. And so I'm really pleased to announce that our park staff has been working on a new idea as well. And it's really putting the recreation tools, the sports, and all of those types of activities out in the community, out in the neighborhoods. Because a lot of times our kids have a hard time getting to places, and especially getting to maybe our conference and rec center to participate in sports. Now this way, with this new program, Moving Moval, we're actually going to be bringing the sports and the activities to them in their neighborhoods at the various parks. So that's another big win for our park staff. Let's give them a round of applause for that too. Okay. It's so important that we keep those kids engaged during those hours between 3 to 6. It's really called the danger hours because that's really the time that when students aren't engaged in activities or with good social groups, and I'm sure our social worker professor would agree that they tend to go to be easily influenced by gangs and those kinds of things. So it's really important that we keep them engaged, and so I'm really proud of this program. I also want to thank the members of the volunteers that attended the Community Day of Service. You know, our volunteers are gold, you know, and we have to treat them like gold. So I want to thank them for coming out there and sprucing up those areas as well. And then I want to also mention that today I had my mayor's pancake breakfast at the Senior Center, and I want to say there was probably more than 100 folks that attended. The first hour, we were actually before we had people come in, I was cooking along with the city clerk and the staff, and we actually had a line out the door. And I was like, oh my goodness. But everybody really enjoyed it. They were all happy. We all had a great time. And I want to give a round of applause to our city clerk staff as well for coming out that morning. Thank you. And I didn't burn any pancakes, okay? They all came out really great. Okay. All right. But I do got to say, Pat, I think you did have the best ones. I mean, they were nice and they were round, crystal golden, but it was nice. All right. I also finally, I do want to mention, I want to congratulate Dr. Thornton for being the keynote speaker for the Veterans Day event. And, you know, I was very inspired, and I really was when I heard your story at the Moreno Valley College Veterans Scholarship Breakfast. You did an amazing job. She has an amazing story. And so, you know, I'm just waiting for this one. You know, I'm just really looking forward to it. All right, so I know you're gonna do great. So I do want to, unfortunately, today I actually discovered Rafael Brugueras. He's our planning commissioner. His father passed away today, so I want to make sure that we close the meeting tonight in his memory. Senor Hector Brugueras, in his memory. We'll close the meeting tonight in memoriam. So we'll adjourn the meeting at let me see what time it is. At 7:38 p.m.